Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, another video. It is 6:42 a.m. It is Tuesday. It is the 9th of May. Yesterday was my bankruptcy meeting. I'm going to talk about that for a little bit. My bankruptcy attorney said you need to show up at 9:30 at the courthouse. Your appointment is at 10:30. Find out that what he wants us to do is show up an hour early to sit there in the courtroom watching the current attorneys and their clients talking to the trustee, getting an idea of what questions are being asked, how they should answer, what they have to do. So for an hour I sat there from 9:30 to 10:30 watching the 9:30 people go up and do their bankruptcy proceedings. And so I watched that for an hour, and then there was a brief recess where the trustee had to get up and go to the bathroom, do this, do that, drink water, do stuff, because he had his 10:30 group of people. He had his work to do to get ready for us. So they was in a courtroom, big courtroom, and they if you live in Olympia or Washington State, Olympia, well, it's not Olympia, it's Tacoma. It's the Union Station in Tacoma. It's really cool. You enter the Union Station building part, and then you actually go through it, and it leads down and around to the actual courthouse. And it's down on another street over this way. You can get in down that way, which is almost impossible. You can get in up through this way, which is what we did. I was dropped off, walked a block, and then got there, because on the way there was a lot of detours, and then there was no parking there, so they just dropped me off. I walked there. So I arrived and got into the building. Again, Union Station in Tacoma. So if it's Tacoma, anyone in Tacoma or Washington State, that's where it was, Union Station in Tacoma. Got in there, sat, listened, watched the previous things, and then during the recess, my attorney got ready, and he had his stack of people, so I was just one of many. And then I sat there from 10:30 on, watching and waiting for my turn. And I don't understand some of what goes on. It must have been differing types of bankruptcies, because the people that we watched, the attorneys had to announce themselves with each person that came up. And so as they came up, the attorney sitting there would say, "Hi, my name is blah, 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 blah. I'm representing blah, 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 blah." And then they had to introduce themselves. I say, "Can you tell me your name? Blah, blah, blah. Can you raise your right hand?" Da, 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 da. That sort of thing. And then when my attorney was there, the trustee just said, "You don't need to announce yourself every time." Must have been a different kind of bankruptcy proceedings. I don't know. But so he didn't have to announce himself. He just basically sat there while the trustee asked me questions. It's like, it was, say your name and take a seat, because they record, and then he asked questions. It's like, have you declared bankruptcy before? Did you go over this with your attorney? Is this your signature? Is this where you're living now? Are you doing that? Do you have this much? Do you have that much? He asked me, I see here you have a storage unit. And I went, yes, I do have a storage unit. I'm paying for that now. He said, what is in it? And it's like, well, it's just furniture and stuff. It's like maybe $1,000. Maybe. Because it's old furniture that I and my wife had. So there's furniture from our house there, a lot of it, because it's not climate controlled. It's not heated, unfortunately. It is not climate controlled. And so a lot of my furniture there has gone moldy and bad. Even wooden tables there were moldy. So a lot of the stuff that I have is molded. Electronic stuff already does not work, a large part of it. Hopefully don't have any of my consoles there, but we shall see. Hopefully if I do, they're not destroyed. But I said, yeah, there's like $1,000 maybe? And I went, oh, okay, that's fine. And da-da-da-da-da, he said, no, you got this, you got that? Well, very good, you are free to go. I said, thank you very much, shook hands with my attorney, said have a good day to the trustee, gathered up my stuff, walked out. I am done with my bankruptcy. Now, if the attorney did not do his job and get every debtor, and if I didn't catch them and they slipped through, which with my fibro, I am amazed constantly daily. Everything is a surprise because I forget so much. I'm out of sight, out of mind. I forget I have a sister. I keep saying, yeah, I've only got a sister. Then I forget, my whole life I've had not just my sister, but 3 stepsisters. So it's like, holy smokes. I mean, I am out of sight, out of mind. I'm not an only child. I've got 1 sister and 3 stepsisters. That's not exactly an only child, is it? But I'm out of sight, out of mind, and it bugs me to death. Because I'll have 10 tabs opened up on my browser. And then as time goes on and, I accidentally close a tab or it gets closed, I'll notice that at the end, I've got, instead of 10 tabs, when I open up my browser and they load up, there's like 4. And I don't know where the other ones went or when they went. And I'm constantly having things like that happen. It's like, oh, well, and, I guess I won't. So, it's fun that way. Fibro fun for the win. But, if they are missed, I have to go back to the attorney. He will take a $100 charge. Yay. And they add them onto the bankruptcy and gone. So if anybody comes up to me afterward and says, hey, buddy, you owe us cash, first thing I got to say to them is, no, I declared and successfully went through my bankruptcy on May 8th. I don't owe anyone jack. And if they say, oh, yes, you do, we weren't represented, we're not part of the bankruptcy, you owe us, then I just say, well, thank you for telling me. For $100 to my attorney, you will now go away. So yeah, it might cost me $100 to get rid of them, but every time they pop up now, unless there's, I can't even think of a reason where anybody would say, yeah, you need to pay these people. Because the only people that might have slipped through are like, well, people that have opposed me and thus I owe them money, or for my wife. So I should be free and clear now, starting on a new financial straight basis. In fact, my credit should be nothing. It's not a direct, clear bankruptcy. It was an expungement. So it should be, I'm nothing, no credit now. Not bad credit, but none. And I got to start over from scratch. But you know what? I'm terrible with credit. I am horrible financially. And that's bad. One of the reasons I have so much trouble is I am terrible with money. My wife did it for me. I'm terrible with money. Since she died, I have not had much money, but I've never made much, and I've got tons of bills. So, thumbs up on that. And yes, my friends, my housemates, because I could have gone to my in-laws and said, can you give me a ride? They hear from the shameful, horrible way that I was treated by my in-laws, said, we're not going to let you do that. We are not going to force you to go and talk to them after all that they've done to you. And then now you're going to go and say, can you give me a ride? And they can hold that over the top of you? No. They went and got up after 4 or 5 hours of sleep so they could drive me there. I could get my bankruptcy done and they could drive me back. And they were glad to do it, and it was awesome. So it's a very good thing. Thumbs up on that. I don't have a ton of things to, I mean, there's I want to try and remember military time stories. One of the things that I've never fit in well with anybody. I've always been weird my entire life. I am eccentric. I am odd. I know this. I'm weird. I am not a standard normal American male. I'm not a standard man. All my life, I have had way too much estrogen in my system. My testosterone has always been extremely low, and I've always had a ton of estrogen. I mean, men have estrogen and women have testosterone. Testosterone is what determines your sex drive. The more testosterone there is in a woman, the more she really likes sex. So, an estrogen in a man, I can't remember what that does, but there's reasons. It's a sex hormone, and we do that. So, I've always been not a normal person that way. During my military time, the last 6 months that I was in Florida, my friends and I, we were in Homestead Air Force Base, which does not exist anymore. During these Hurricane Andrew, I think it was in the mid-90s, they went through Florida, that destroyed Homestead. It was 30 miles south of Miami. I do not know if they rebuilt it, but after the hurricane went through, there was just foundations. It was like an old archaeological dig where all you can see is foundations where all the buildings used to be. That's what it was. Even before I left there, they had hurricane type weather where trees were almost bent over sideways, and I was going outside to take a look at the weather. So after that, there was no Homestead left anymore. But that's where I was. And I and my friends, we'd go to like the Airmen's Club or, such like that, where we would get a few drinks and hang around. I never did normal stuff. This was the 80s when, things aren't wonderful now with relationship among races, even though there is no such thing as race. It's a sole socio-political construct. 130 years ago, people went through and tried to determine, white people tried to determine what the races were. They figured there were at first there were the Negroid races, there were the Mongoloid races, and then there were the normal races, the white ones. And now, the way we have the races, that was determined 130 years ago when they said that one's not going to work. Instead, they said, okay, we've got you're black, you're white, you're black, you're yellow, you're red, and then your default normal, white. There are no races. There's, oh, my webcam's locked up again. So hopefully it's not dead. It's just sitting there frozen. Oh, yay. I got another hardware conflict. There's a hardware conflict somewhere, somehow, with even on a straight, fresh, clean install, boom, immediate hardware conflict. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to fix that. I don't even know how to find it. But we'd go to the club, and I remember this one time, instead of my hanging around with my friends, I instead spent the entire time drinking and watching these three older black guys playing dominoes. Now, remember, this was the 80s when race relations weren't wonderful, and yet I spent most of my time not hanging around with my friends. I'd go hang around with like the black people there, and they were showing me how to play dominoes. They were getting really into their dominoes, and I was drinking. They were drinking. We were having fun while my friends were off doing what they were doing, and I was playing dominoes with black guys. So I've never been a normal guy. For the time, I mean by normal, because that was not normal behavior for a young white guy. I've never been normal. So thumbs up on that. Well, we're at 12 minutes and 40 seconds. I need to quickly go to the community tab. That's not it. The community tab on my channel, so I can open up the comments and then hit 24 hours worth of comments open, because I want to thank 20 to 25 people for having left me comments. Now, I'm not reading the comments yet. I'm just thanking people for leaving comments. You get me out of my head and into the world, and Chrome is acting so freaking slow right now. I'm so sorry. I hate Chrome. It's awful. Now, I say 20 to 25 people because I try to do a range and I count, but I'm quite sure I count like 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 7, 9, 12, 13. So I try to do a range. Now, if I mispronounce your name, no disrespect is intended. Oops, I flapped away from that. It's just I'm terrible at names. If I didn't know how to pronounce my own name, I wouldn't be able to pronounce my own last name. And my last name, it's easy. It's German. It's pronounced exactly the way it's spelled. Let's see, it's R-O-E-B-E-N. Put those together, Robin. But if I didn't know, I'd be going, Filbert? So, no disrespect if I mispronounce your name. Now again, I'm going to read the comments afterward, thumbs up every comment I do, answer as many as I can. I spend a lot of time in the comments trying to answer as many as I can. So, if you want a shout out, just make sure and let me know down in the comments, and if I catch it, I will make sure to do that. So, first off, Creepy Lord, thank you so very much. And Nestor Luna, thank you, greatly appreciated. Breaker Games, son of a gun, thank you. N3 on Emerald X, son of a gun, thank you very, very much. And Justina Aquavita Metz, thank you so very, very much. Dabrowski, thank you, greatly appreciated. Clara Michelle, thank you. John Himes, thank you very, very much. Patrick Wagoner, greatly appreciated. Fandomer, thank you very, very much. Zayaria, thank you very, very much. And Ariel Gonzalez, thank you, greatly appreciated. Sorry about the meaty. Thank you very, very much. And Billy Bob, thank you. And then there's, hey, you. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Wickhead 1992. Thank you very much. And then there is Darth Sidian. Ooh, thank you very much. And Te Elitist. Thank you very, very much. Tobias Vector. Thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. And The Horror Files. Thank you. And then there is Srik Rishna Srivratsan. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, but thank you very, very much. I am terrible at names, terrible at names. And then there is John Smith. That one's easy, thank you. And AJ Bryant. Thank you very, very much. And then we have Mika Mach 5, son of a gun. Thank you very, very much. And then Mad Villain, son of a gun. Thank you very, very much. 20 to 25 people I thank for getting out of my head and into the world. Thank you very much. My mental landscape is not pretty. I need as much help getting out of my head as I can. Now, what I also like to do is to thank people in their home languages. If you'd like to hear a greeting in your home language, if you could put it in the comments. Hello, goodbye, good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon. Awesome. And I will definitely put the morning greeting here. I went through Yoshi Egg 118. Thank you very much for having put the list in the comments. I got the list back. So we say, Bom dia, dia gwit, guten tag, annyeonghaseyo, buenos dias, buona dimanata, ohayo, lebrid, labas ritas, kamusta, bongiorno, terahomikos, yorigelt, barilus, ni hao, kalimera, bonjour, boker tov, excuse me, Jean Dobry, or this foreign, chest, labdien, dobre utro, dobre rano, bereda, privyet, merhaba, and go forth and have the crack. Thumbs up for that. Good food, good drink with good friends. Definitely a good thing. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily to have an alcoholic beverage. Could be just a glass of crisp, clear water. Doesn't mean to have mounds of crack cocaine on a table before you. Doesn't necessarily mean to have a prostitute spread her thighs for you. The crack. Good food, good drink with good friends. Someone also wrote, like at the end of a video, I should say gracias para tu atención. I think that's how it goes. I'm having to remember. It was written down, but I lost it, and now I hope it's like gracias para tu atención. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Well, I'm now at 17 minutes and change. I like to keep this under 20 minutes, so thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you were watching. I would like to end this, of course, with saying if you could check out some of my links down there, you just click on the show more. They open right up. There's a whole bunch of things, everything from Twitter to Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. My thanks to everyone who's donated to my GoFundMe. You're helping to keep me alive. My thanks so much to every one of my Patreon.com patrons. You're beautiful, awesome people. Thank you so much. The links are right down in there. If you could toss me a like, that would be awesome. Greatly appreciated. I think everybody, pretty much, does appreciate positive validation for their existence. I can think of very, very few people. I can count them on the finger of one hand, or less than the finger of one hand, on anyone who thrives on abuse and neglect. So, thumbs up. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. I do appreciate that. That would be very, very cool. Hope to keep you as a subscriber for, well, nigh unto eternity. Well after the sun has expanded its size until it encompasses our what the hell is that called? Orbit. That's what it is. Thumbs up on that. Well, at 18 minutes and 30 seconds, I am going to say thank you so very, very much for watching. Now, this is American Sign Language. I have American Sign Language. I've studied American Sign Language. I can't do it well. My fibro makes it so it's hard to do that, but I do, I think that's do, know some sign language. I forget, lots, but, I try. For a while I was dating a deaf girl when I worked at a nursing home prior to 2000. And I screwed it up because I was drinking. The one time she came over and we were gonna bone all night, guess what? I had to drink instead. And so I screwed that one up. Didn't get to dip my wick. Pretty sad. But it's okay. I was 36 at the time. She was 18. It was like, talk about robbing the cradle. I mean, it was legal, but, well, life is life. You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. I've got a reaction video coming up. Hopefully a game video. I keep getting depressed about the status of my game videos because barely anybody watches anything compared to my reaction. So, life is life. They're fun. I enjoy it. And I'm going to start live streaming soon. I'm going to be live streaming on a daily basis here. So you take care. Have a great day. I will see you on the flip side. And that, my friend, is a very good thing.